He's talking about the latest incident of streaking, or the latest one that we know about anyway, that happened last night. And unfortunately, I guess you didn't even find out about it till today, because she went behind you on stage.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
I was sitting down minding my own business.
Well, you told a very interesting story last night about the last gig I think you played before you came down here. Could you repeat that for our audience, eliminating the four-letter words?
Oh, the satellite lounge.
Yeah, the satellite lounge, and the by now legendary Mr. Rossi.
Oh yeah. Where can I begin?
This is gun country. They'd appreciate it, you know.
We're booked in this joint called the Satellite Lounge, right? And about a week before, we just got a new drummer. We got Ernest Carter, and we'd only rehearsed like a day or so, you know. So I said, Mike, man, call this cat, tell him we ain't gonna make it, you know. Tell him we can't play this joint this weekend, you know. And so Mike calls the guy. And the guy, you know, usually the guy goes, yeah, okay, I'll see you next time. He goes, you and he starts going at me.
Or words to those effects.
Yeah. And so he said that I should go, or else he would kill me if I didn't. And the guy's name is Carlo Rossi. And in Jersey, there's like a little circuit of like lounges, you know, that are like sort of like mob run joints, and they started booking acts, you know, booking like acts with an album or two out, you know. So Mike calls me up and says, man, you know, got some news for you. And I always say, well, is it good or is it bad? If it's bad, don't tell me, you know. If it's good, let me know, you know. So he says, this is violently bad, and I have to tell you, you know, we have to play tomorrow night. So I said, are you sure? You know, the guy's probably, you know, putting you on. He's probably jiving you. So Mike says, no, man, I called up these two guys. We know we're on good terms with these guys. This guy Tyrone and Rocky.
You're not making these names up, are you?
No, these guys are real. You can go to New Jersey and meet them. And they look exactly what they sound like. You know, this guy Tyrone and Rocky, they run this joint called the Earl Lounge. And we played there a few times. And we get along with the guys real good. They treat us good. And Mike says, hey, man, call up this Carlo guy. Call up Carlo Rossi. Tell him to lighten up, you know. tell him we ain't such bad guys, you know. And so they called him up. And that just made him madder, you know. And so Tyrone Rock said the best thing to be would be to be there on Saturday night. Because, well, it's funny, it was like the week before, this band Foghat had played there, you know, and they were on stage. You know? They were playing, and he comes up and says, man, you guys are turned down. You guys are too loud. You know, more... Cats better turn down. He goes up the second time and says, turn down, man. You know, you guys are too loud. More, you know. So he goes back the third time and says, I told you guys to turn down. Pulls out a gun and shoots all the amps. This is a true story. Shot the amps right in front of like 1,500 people, you know. Stops the show and shoots the amps. You know? So I was there on Saturday night. You know, when Ernest was there, we were all there, you know. We did, and it's funny because the first set you start at midnight, and we went on for a second set at like 4 in the morning. You know, it's when and it's in Fort Dix. It's like a soldier town. It's a crazy place, you know. You run into them places sometimes. Yeah, it was a good gig. It ended up to be a good gig. You know, the cat, you know, yeah.
Nobody got killed or.
No, once we got there, you know, as long as we were there, they got, you know, they love you, you know. But if you don't come, I'm gonna give him a kiss in Asbury Park. Yeah, my address. He's gonna give me the kiss in Asbury Park. It's a trick.
If you're tuning in on the middle of this is Bruce Springsteen talking with us up here. You have had, from the biography I got from Columbia Records and the other things that I have seen, what I would say is an interesting life. Would you like to tell us some more about it? Like, what happened the time when you were rehearsing in the house or in the garage after your parents left? And I think it was about a week or so before the police came. What was the deal with that?
I don't know. If you're getting it off the bio, that could be anything. Oh, that's Danny, used to carry around in his car. Well, Danny, you gotta dig. Danny is, on another time plane. This guy, he's into his own thing. And he had like a PA in his car or something. And it was like a Citizens Band radio, but he had these little horns like the cops got, All right, clear the streets, Everybody off the corner. And that was years ago. That was a long time ago. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Danny's a weird cat, man. He's got blank pistols, and he runs around and shoots them off, out the car window, and all sorts. He's a strange cat. Dan's a funny cat. We went to California. The first time I went to California, he was in the band that I went with. I was about 18. He was about 18. Danny's driving the station wagon full of drivers, right? And I don't know how to drive at all. I do now, but at the time I didn't. So I got in this old Chevy truck we were carrying all the equipment in, with my manager, a guy named Tinker, who builds surfboards. Well, he doesn't build them now, but I used to live in a surfboard factory for about a year and a half. This guy used to make surfboards.
Where was this, out in L.A.?
This was in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
He came east to bring the surfboards to the pagans on the East Coast. And he started a thing, it was Challenger Eastern. Challenger Eastern. He built Challenger Eastern surfboards. And we were going to California. We were going back west because he knew some people that were managing Quicksilver, Messenger Service, and a few other bands out west at the time, And Danny's in the station wagon with all the drivers, 6 drivers, and I happened to get in the Chevy truck to keep the cat company, to keep manager company. And we get in Nashville, turn around, no Danny, right? No Danny any place. We never saw him again until we got to California. Right? Never saw him again until we ended up in the sticks out in this joint called Esalen Institute.
Oh yeah.
Which like you gotta dig if you're a kid coming out of New Jersey and you go to Esalen Institute and there's people rolling on the lawn, and grabbing the air, and it's the kind of place it is. It's it's one of them.
They do a lot of sensitivity training and
yeah.
stuff like that.
That's what it is. Yeah. So I went there. I said, whoa, I mean, I didn't know that's what it was. I was and that's where we met up with Danny, way at this guy's house. Guy built his house around a tree. Had a tree started in his living room, and went up through his bedroom and right out the roof again. It's something. It's something. Funny cat.
When did you first start playing seriously? Well, let's say professionally. That's easier.
I don't know.
For money.
It's like I didn't wake up and say, hey, today I'm gonna be a professional. It was just it's you develop into the whole thing more or less. You don't, you don't know when you start playing professionally because it's all so haphazard along the way. It's like one day you're playing, at high school, the next day you're in the club, the next day you're in a college concert, next day you're back in high school again. So you can't figure it out. It's hard to say.